Well, we just fueled up West Addison General Store in West Addison, Vermont, and we're going to take some back roads, head over to New Haven, Vermont to Cyclewise. They recently became a Indian dealer. For a long time they were Ducati, and this is, I think, Triumph. They did used to sell Suzuki. I don't think they carry Suzuki anymore. I think they also sell CF Moto. This is one of my favorite little back road stretches along Lake Champlain. And today we're riding the Indian Super Hooligan. So this is early season riding in northern New York and Vermont. Roads are still filthy, so we'll be taking it easy. And it's March 22nd. Temperature is about 55 degrees. A little chilly, but not too bad. I'm going to take a little pit stop here and try to fix my jacket. That's a little better. Arm was getting a little cold. The thing I do like riding in Vermont a little better, mainly because they don't use the amount of salt that they do over in New York. For whatever reason, this road is fairly clean early on in the season. I'm pretty new to the whole YouTube video making experience. I'm still testing equipment, trying to get things so that they sound halfway decent. More or less doing this for my own entertainment, but if you find it fairly interesting, feel free to like and subscribe and follow along. I do have a pretty big road trip planned for this coming season. I plan to do an East Coast to West Coast bike camping, moto camping trip on my Africa Twin. I'm going to be testing out some equipment, reviewing some products, and several shakedown trips prior to departure. So as weather gets nicer, we'll be getting more into that. I ended up getting a Big Agnes bike hotel too, so I'll have some room to store my side cases and luggage. And I ended up going with the Arai XD5 helmet, adventure style helmet. Very comfortable. I have several Shoeis, some HJCs. Right now I also have the HJC Alpha 11 Pro, and that's a pretty comfortable lightweight helmet, but that Arai is just phenomenal. I also got the Big Agnes Anvil sleeping bag, and I got the REI Helix sleeping pad, and I'm going to put the Thermarest old school, like accordion style pad underneath the Helix pad, so hopefully that'll be comfortable enough for the journey. I'm hoping to see parts of the Trans-America Trail, the Oregon Trail. I do plan to, as far as where I'm going out west, it's going to be, I'd like to stick to Northern California. I'd like to go through like Carson City maybe, and then work my way back over through Idaho, and drop down towards like Wyoming, Montana, the Dakotas. I've been to some of the national parks in that area. I haven't been to Yellowstone yet, so that's going to be one of the stops. If I could tie in Route 66 a little bit along the way, I'm trying to develop my route. Yeah, I'm looking, you know, I actually tried using that Chat GPT and typed in the parameters of Trans-America Trail, Oregon Trail, Route 66, Pony Express, all the historical trails. You know, I also factored in that I had, you know, about 8 weeks to complete the trip. Like to keep the budget under $5,000. And Chat GPT came up with a fairly decent route, so it'll take me some time to actually dial everything in. Figure out moto camp 3-4 nights a week, stay in a hotel a couple days a week, and try to rotate it so I can get, you know, my stuff cleaned up, charge up equipment, and so forth. Sort of taking a long way over to the Indian Ducati Triumph dealer, taking some back roads, just playing around a little bit. Yeah, YouTube's been a pretty good tool as far as trying to find information about the various trails that I would like to hit. Moto Giant did the Trans-America Trail last year. He had a pretty epic journey. I enjoyed watching his footage of the trail. Dork in the Road, he's done quite a few different trips. I believe he was in Death Valley last year, and I think he's planning on going back there. I've been in Death Valley in a car, but never a motorcycle. So that might be something I might hit on my trip. There's just so much to see. I really don't have any interest in traveling abroad, or You know, probably the farthest that I would ever want to go someday would be to Alaska. But I think that's going to be more of a cruise type scenario. Oh, smell the farms. Springtime's coming. And off in the distance, you can see the snow on that mountain. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's quite a bit of snow up there. We're pretty much headed towards the Green Mountains. I'm going to stay here in the valley because I'm sure there's plenty of snow up high and the roads are going to be atrocious. And now we're looking back towards the high peaks of New York and the Adirondack Park. Couple newer YouTubers or a new channel I've been following on the road. British couple. They both have Africa Twins. Actually, they had. I guess they're looking to sell them and pick up smaller bikes. I guess it's all in what you're looking to do. And I would look at my Africa Twin as being more of a touring bike. So currently in my stable I have the 2024 Africa Twin Adventure Sport ES, 2024 Indian Super Hooligan, and a 2023 Beta 390 RRS. So I'll be sharing my adventures on all three of those bikes, and each one of them has their own purpose. What I can relate to the on the road couple there, I think where they live or where they like to ride, it might be smaller, you know, backcountry type riding. In the States, it's United States, we're very fortunate to have the road system that we do have. And I think the Africa Twin is one of the best all-around bikes for long distance adventure riding and touring, depending on your tire setup and what you're comfortable with. And I'm not looking to take a 500 something pound bike onto some gnarly single track. That's what the bait is for. So my purpose with the Africa Twin, I think it'll suit my needs just fine. And I believe this is called the Basin Harbor Club. They do have a nice little restaurant here. We'll go for a little ride through here. Looks like they have a fairly nice golf course here too. It's not a far ride if you happen to be camping at Dar State Park. If you want a nice little place to go for a ride and have a nice meal. This coming up here on the right is their restaurant, which is open to the public in the summertime. Good food, good overall atmosphere. So that's the Basin Harbor Club. A little ritzy for my blood. People along the lake, they've got deep pockets. A lot deeper than mine. I've always loved this area. Let's see, we'll go back this way. Sort of make a little loop here. A lot of times, you know, you don't have the time to take off and go, you know, for the whole day or weekend, but you want a nice little ride. I look for those little loops in my area. Like I said, I've always lived in this area, so I know my way around and know all the back roads. It's nice to be able to go like within a 200-mile radius of where you live and know all the roads. Don't need your GPS. Not trying to navigate somewhere. There's some photographer up there. I'm sure that's a beautiful picture overlooking Lake Champlain. Looking at the high peaks in the Adirondacks. So I guess let me talk about what my channel is going to be. It's just basically going to be, you know, ride and travel, motovlogging, product reviews. I'll go over some of the equipment that I've purchased and just want to make everyone, you know, aware that all the equipment, the motorcycles and gear, everything has been purchased by me with my own money. I'm not sponsored. I I don't even have any subscribers. So, you know, it's trying to get a YouTube channel going, I'm sure, is a challenge. So at this point, you know, everything has been purchased for the channel, and at a loss. Yeah, it is what it is. So, I mean, you know, it's something I'm into anyway, so I might as well see if it can develop into something more. But I'm not counting on that. I'm just going to enjoy going for my trips and rides and adventures and sharing them all with you. And let's go with a little background here of, you know, I've been riding motorcycles since I can't remember when. Probably, I think I was 15 when I got my first motorcycle. And when I was really young, a buddy of mine would let me ride his dirt bike. I never had my own dirt bike growing up. I did have a three-wheeler, but you know, that was always a wish every Christmas, but never came. So in my adult life, I've tried to get all those things that you always wanted, you know, the motorcycle, the dirt bike. When my son was little, I got him a Yamaha TTR 90, and I got myself a 2001 CR 125. At that time, I still had motorcycles. I think I had a 01 Yamaha R1. Always had motorcycles. Most of them, you know, they come and they go. And, you know, I had a Ninja 600R in high school, followed by a Radian 600 Yamaha. Ooh, that didn't sound good. Ooh, that was not good. These Indian FTRs, whatever, are known for some fueling issues. Well, that was a pretty aggressive pop. But anyway, back to the bikes that I've had. So I had some sport bikes, GSXR 750. Had a Roadstar cruiser bike, had a Goldwing. You know, these were older bikes, you know, 1985 Goldwing. I purchased probably 15, 20 years ago, whatever. And laughed the whole way home with my Icon Legion mainframe sport bike helmet on, rocking to a AC/DC cassette, the only cassette I had, and the Goldwing had, you know, cassette player. So that was pretty comical. You know, rocking some Back in Black on an 85 Goldwing. It was a cool bike. Yeah, I rode that for a season, I think, or maybe two. It was really nice condition. Picked it up for like $2,000, and I sold it a couple years later for the same money I bought it for. So that bike didn't owe me anything. Didn't really put a lot of miles on it, but I took good care of it and maintained it. And let's see, that brings me to the current bikes like I mentioned previously. Got some newer bikes. I think before, let's see here, before I got the bike I'm riding today, the Super Hooligan, I had a 2018 Road Glide, and I sold the Road Glide in 2022. So I didn't have a bike from that point until I picked up the Beta 390 in 2023. And I dabbled around on the Dual Sport. Had a lot of fun on that bike last summer. Getting to know it. I also had a Honda CRF 300L that I purchased for the wife in hopes that, you know, she'd ride her own bike. And that never came to fruition. She never really showed any type of interest in learning to ride. So I got rid of the 300L and used that money to put the deposit down on the Africa Twin. So I figured, you know, get a 2-up bike so we can actually go ride together again, because we really hadn't rode together since I got rid of the 2018 Road Glide several years ago. And the Super Hooligan I'm on today, it's got a solo seat on it. It's just not designed to be a 2-up type experience. So I needed something for the two of us. So that brought on the Africa Twin. So I put the deposit on that, and when I retired, I pulled some money out of my savings and went and picked it up. So basically, I drove it home, the Africa Twin I'm talking about, I drove that home last December. We had a day, it was 50 degrees out, and I went and picked it up. The weather was nice, the roads weren't bad yet, and that bike has sat in the garage waiting for spring. Had it out a few times. Me and the wife went out and did a video with it the other day with first impressions of riding 2-up, and basically her thoughts were, you know, she really misses the comfort of the Road Glide. She thinks that the shifting isn't as smooth, and I think that most of that comes down to the fact that we had, you know, a backrest put onto the Road Glide, so she was kind of locked into the bike, and where right now she's just hanging on to the grab rails. So as I'm shifting, she has nothing to support her back, so she's feeling that every shift. So I got all the luggage in the top case and backrest, or backrest pad for the top case. So once I get all that on there, and we'll get it out for another ride together, I think she'll find that she likes it a lot more. I don't think she'll ever like it as much as the Harley. I'm just being real. Just totally different type of riding. Anyway, there's a lot of riding in Vermont for the dual sport, the Beta. I mean, just about every road you go down around Vermont is all dirt. There's only a handful of roads over here on this side of the lake that would take a bike like the Super Hooligan. Appalachian Gap is nice. That'd be a nice drive, but again, you're getting up there in elevation, and the roads just are not ready for that. A lot of cool places over there, like Waterbury, Vermont. You got Lincoln Gap, Brandon Gap, Middlebury Gap. You got all these different mountain roads, and they're a lot of fun on bikes like this. But it'll be probably mid-June before I would dare take the bike on that type of ride. Gotta let the roads clear up. I'd like the temperatures to be up a bit. I don't really trust how well the tires are gonna hang on, you know. So just take it easy and enjoy the ride. think the plan today is pretty much going to be to clean the bikes up from the last few rides. They're both pretty filthy. I got to adjust the chain tension on this and the Africa Twin, clean them and adjust them. I don't like to let my stuff get all too filthy. Chain maintenance is huge, you know, and prolonging the life of your chain and sprockets. So you gotta stay on top of that. Ooh. We'll make our way back across the Champlain Bridge, and I'll pull into Fort St. Frederick, and we'll do a walk around of the bike. We'll talk about the bike a little more. Oh, go squirrel, go. Just crossing the Champlain Bridge, and we'll pull in over here to Fort St. Frederick historical site.